What's going on, guys? Welcome to another live stream session. Your boy Phrankleen. If you're watching these as a playback, thank you for stopping by. This is your first time on the channel. Don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and look through my videos, and hopefully something might interest you. All right. So this is a story time. Story time is basically a segment where people send me their stories to my email address of foodchannel1960@gmail.com. You can look in the description below. And if you have any stories, of course, I'll keep you anonymous. If there's any trending topic, please let me know, and I'll jump on it. All right. Now, let's get these parties started. Okay. If you can hear me, you can see me. I think it's a bit, forgive me if it's a bit glitchy or if it's a bit slow or something like that. What's up, Akin? What's going on, man? What's going on? Hit the like button. Hit the like button. All right. So, can you hear me? Right. I think it's a lot better now. So, yeah, it was a couple of days ago, I had a live stream and was quite interesting. You know, I'm sure a lot of people learned something from it. But about on Saturday, a woman sent me an email to foodchannel1960@gmail.com and basically shared this story with me, which is what's going on with her and her husband at the moment. But before we crack on, okay, now let me talk to you very quickly about this proud sponsor of these episodes. These episodes are sponsored by Adron Homes. Okay, Adron Homes, for those of you that already know, some of you already know, right? Phrankleen wouldn't let person enjoy bank holiday barbecuing. Send me some of your barbecue. I'm a tea. Come on, man. You should have invited me for barbecue, man. Why are you telling me on my live stream that you got barbecue? Come on, man. So, anyways, these episodes sponsored by Adron Homes. Okay, I've been talking about this forever. Adron Homes is basically a properties company based in Nigeria. They're reputable. They're very good. Now, some of you live here in the diaspora. You don't know what to do with your money. You probably have a truckload of money stashed away, or you're trying to own one or two things back home, a parcel of land or a home and things like that. People have let you down. You don't know what to do. Anyway, the long and short is I have a partnership with Adron Homes. I'm a business development executive with them, and I'll be your agent, right? I'll show you in a moment. And you can, from as little as 25,000 naira in deposit, you can own a parcel of land. So let me show you. No gimmicks, no tricks. A bunch of people that watch my channel have already jumped on this opportunity. I've been talking about this for weeks. Okay. All you have to do once I'm done talking about this is just send me an email. I'll put my email address on the screen. So here we go now. You can see my screen, Food Channel 1960 at gmail.com. I hope you can see my screen. Let me see. Right. So they've got these, it's been on for a while, Ramadan promo. So if you deposit as little as 25,000 naira, some people do more than that, but that's the least amount of deposit. And then you can open your file and you can start paying monthly. You can pay across 24 months or across 12 months. So very quickly, I'll give you an example. Buckingham Park and Gardens is in Ede. They've got lands in Ede. They've got Abuja, Ijebu-Ode, Ibadan, Badagry, Suleja, Abeokuta, Kajola, Shagamu, Ibadan, Nasarawa, Oshogbo, Ibejuleki, Lagos, Abeokuta, Shimawa, and trust me, the list goes on. So if you want me to send you the application pack and these particular flyer, just send me an email to foodchannel1960 and say, Phrankleen, I'm interested in owning a parcel or multiple parcels of lands. Please send me the application pack and I'll reply you. Okay. So For example, this one is a million naira. At 20% discount, it goes for 800,000 naira, which you can pay the rest over, over 24 months. At 30% discount, it's at 700,000. At 40% discount, 600,000. You get the gist. It's like that for all of the areas. Okay, Adron Homes. This is what I'm saying. You can invest in land for yourself. The beautiful thing about it, you got one of two options. You can hold a land purely for investment and sell it off later, and you can build on it. If you're a diaspora, you're contemplating on moving back at some point, their estates are well secured and guarded and protected, and they offer fantastic facilities. All right. So it's worth considering. And you can also buy this and build portfolio for your children. All right. So that's that. Let's crack on with the rest of the show. Now, if you are interested, send an email to foodchannel1960@gmail.com. That's my email address on the screen. All right. Just send me an email. Say, Phrankleen, I'm interested in buying a land. Please send me the application pack and we'll take it from there. One more thing. If you do decide to progress, my duty is to collect all necessary information from you, pass it to the relevant department. You're not paying Phrankleen directly. You're not giving me your money. You're going to pay into the company's business accounts. Don't worry if you don't have a Nigerian bank account. They've got domiciliary account for pound sterling and dollars and all that. Okay. And I will make sure that everything gets properly reconciled. You get your land-related documents and all that. If you got questions for me, shoot them to foodchannel1960@gmail.com and we'll take it from there. Thank you. So here we go. Now, a few days ago, a bunch of you were here. We talked about an interesting topic. Somebody relocating to Nigeria with 50,000 pounds and kind of blew everything, right? It's a very interesting topic. If you've not watched it, go and check out the live stream. It's quite interesting. There's a lot to learn from it. Now, so upon seeing that, these particular woman emailed me a couple of days ago and said, Phrankleen, so this is the story. I'll give you the background very quickly. She said, Phrankleen, my husband, just to give you a quick background, for those that don't live in the UK, the bounce back loan scheme was designed by the government to enable businesses to access finance more quickly during the period of the pandemic. Because of course, the pandemic has affected, both individuals and people who own small and medium and large business, owners adversely. So it was designed for them to access, funds and stuff like that. Trying to provide support to businesses across the UK that were losing revenue and seeing their cash flow disrupted as a result of the pandemic, right? And you could benefit from up to, I think, 2,000 to a maximum of 50,000 pounds. And I believe if your business was registered before the 1st of March 2020, you benefit from it and stuff like that. So to put it quite simply. Now, one second. Right. So, of course, it's if you have a business registered in the UK, you must be a UK resident. Yeah, thank you, Oluremi. It's a similar one, in the States and all that. So you understand the premise. Even a 5-year-old child, if you read what it's about, you get that on the spot. If you generally have a business and stuff, you can hopefully apply for it. And then there are a few requirements by the government that are set in place, and then you can benefit from that. But considering some humans can be a bit bananas, and one of the benefits is, I think, you pay no interest for a period of 12 months, if I'm correct, and then like 12 months after or something, you start paying back and stuff. So it gives people a bit of a soft landing there. I think the interest is on 2.5% or something like that. So anyways, according to the lengthy email, this woman ranted like crazy and said, Hit the like button, people. Hit the like button. If you can hear me, you can see me. Smash the like button, all right? So anyway, this woman said her husband applied for the bounce back loan, and she said the first 12 months is holiday period where you don't pay a penny. Thank you, Amati. Yeah, that's right. The first 12 months you don't pay a penny. You're absolutely correct. So you will be surprised by the number of some people out there. I'm telling you, I'm not making this up, that they see that bounce back loan like some kind of a free money. And I'm talking within our community. I cannot make this up, and I'm not suggesting that absolutely everyone is stupid or slow in terms of their thought process. Some people see it as free money. They see it as monies they can just jump, latch onto, collect, and just go bananas with it. Hmm. Um, so I took one and paid it back already when realized didn't even couldn't spend on anything I wanted legally. Of course. So anyway, these brother, multiple people took it. And if you know what you're doing, let me just put this in advance. If you know what you're doing, for those that are well disciplined with finance, um, it can propel you, to improve your business and yourself, monetarily. But there is nothing like a free meal, particularly here in the West. They don't give you nothing for free. What people don't even understand is when you hear the word government, the government is actually reliant on the citizens to stay alive. Do you see how it works? That's why there's a huge misconception where, of course, we can challenge as citizens, we can hold government officials accountable for governmental failures. But to put it quite simply, you are actually the government rely on you to stay alive. That's why they tax you to death. That's why they milk you in every way, shape, or form. Because in order to keep their bottomless pockets, what they call public funds, going, they need the tax systems going. Council tax, road tax, property tax, all sorts of taxes, even parking fines. They milk you. They must milk you because that's how they get their revenue. They take money from here, they put it in there, they take from there. If they tell you, oh, we're giving this particular sector X amount of money, they're going to take that, claw that money back from the other sector. That's how it works. There's no free money. There's no free lunch. How can people so daft? You take the loan and spend it very wisely on appreciating things or business. Well, that's for people that are clever. You see, whilst we might laugh, we might chuckle at some people's foolishness. I'll be honest with you. The premise of my channel, this story time, is if at least one person can learn, I think I'd have done an amazing job in emancipating my people. That's the premise of my channel. You understand what I'm saying? Income tax. If you're the director of a company, you got to pay your own tax, 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 tax. So, anyways, this brother, the wife said he was actually going to go for the maximum of 50,000 because she knows him. That she knows the type of man she's married to, and she said she kind of got in a bit of a friction with him, an argument, and said, "Don't go for the maximum, take 25,000." He said, "Oh, he was going to go for the 50K," but she knows that he's a bit wild with money and all that. So eventually, he caved in and went for 25,000. Now, of course, on paper, by the order of things, when you take that money, you're expected, normally, you know what I'm saying, you're expected to use that money for your, UK based business, right? That's what it's meant for, because that's basically the basis on which you got that money in the first place. So, but then for those that enjoy dual nationality, you might have a fantastic business idea on the other side, and the motherland, Al Kabulan, otherwise known as Africa, right? So the wife said, so it's part of the reason why she sent me this. They had a fantastic idea that, because she said she wasn't working, her employment was affected at some point because of the pandemic, which happened to a lot of people. So, and also in the past, she had previously lent her husband some money that he's put into his business and all that. So he was actually owing the wife some money. So the agreement was, check this out, as Okwati Yauna, as couple, the agreement was, okay, you take the bounce back loan. I think she said he was owing her about 9 grand that she had put in his business in the past. But being husband and wife, you do get intertwined. Finances kind of find their way into the system. Things get interwoven, right? So the mutual um the the mutual agreement was they would get the loan, and he would go to Nigeria. They had a blueprint of a business that they wanted to establish. He was going to go and establish, inject the money into a poultry business, which, if you look at it, is a fantastic idea if done properly. So he took the money. They had all the plans according to the email, and I think it must have transferred the money and all that. So he took all of his tests, the COVID test and all that, packed his bag and baggages, and Alaye jumped on the plane and went home. And he was meant to just jump on the process and start. So the wife would call him, was chasing him, not like chasing him, but would call him, they talk on a daily basis and stuff via WhatsApp. What's going on? What's happening on ground? The agreement was, babe, I'll keep you posted via WhatsApp, send you video clips of what's happening in the potential poultry farm, how the builders are setting the place up. They already had the plan. And like I said, if done properly, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Now, brother got home. So he has some friends back home. Like I was saying in my previous live stream, who you are matters a lot, man. If you just don't have financial discipline, this thing is not taught in school. Unfortunately, I don't care the amount of qualifications you hold at the moment. If maybe your parents didn't teach you about finances and you don't have it in you yourself, monetary discipline is crazy. Reckless spending is quite addictive. I'm telling you, man. It's not even something you can talk into another human being. If you don't have it in you, you're done. So, anyways, the brother went home with 25 grand, and the wife said, and a little bit. And he got on ground, his homeboys back in Nigeria, in Lagos. So my dude must have run his mouth like a bathroom tap. There's a lot of bread on ground. You get me? And stuff. So what did those ones do? I want yummy. They got Jai. The unscrupulous friends, they found him a couple of honeys. I got town Bolara Street. Boys, their brains are working, man. This is what I'm saying. Right there. So when you talk about these things, people would say, oh, nothing works back home, blah, blah. No, you are the problem. You told all these guys, you got 25 racks in your pocket, change that to Naira. That's a few millions right there. You've already blurted out, perhaps he's had a few to drink. He's told his own boys, I'm going to be down and going, and the next thing, in 3, 2, 1, is they will find you a couple of sugar walls, man. Find you a couple of honeys, binge drinking, flexing. Dude went off tangent. And money. They would even use some of those girls to siphon money out of you the moment you go into that slippery slope. And this is how it works. I can tell you, when you get into that terrain of reckless spending, you start to, it's like someone who's drunk and you're behind the steering wheel. The confidence goes, through the roof, and then you start to think you're on top of the world. You are invincible now. It's a big lie. He lost his mind, and usually you start to tell yourself, I've still got more. Like if I'm spending £2,000 recklessly now out of 25, I'm telling myself I've still got 23k left. By the time I blow through 3k, I still got 20 racks left. Nothing to happen. And on like that. Before you fragmentize that money, before you know, you've gone halfway through, and what if you did the rest of the money is gone. That's how it happens. So the wife started calling him. She said she had her suspicions, and she was on the phone chasing up on him and asking him, "What's going on, man? This and this and this." So he kind of lied. He was like, "Oh yeah, there's this guy that's meant to supply some of the equipment, blah blah blah. I'm waiting for him. He's delaying." And the wife said, "But you said you had paid him. This was meant to be delivered." Okay, so the wife then was shouting, "Okay, give me the guy's phone number. Let me ring him from here and find out why." His son said, "What do you mean? What do you?" He hung up on the wife. So she said the gut feeling started telling her here. She's at home here with 3 kids. The gut feeling started telling her that her husband was lying. But she couldn't do anything. He's more than 6,000 miles away, lean back. He's over there. He's bombarded with excessive amount of sugar walls. He's drinking. He's living on top of the world. His so-called friends. And interestingly, the wife said one of the so-called friends owns a petrol station. They were rolling from one hotel to the other. One of the so-called friends owns a petrol station. Did you hear what I said? I hope somebody can learn at least one thing. And let me tell you, this is not me sitting on trying to come across as holier than thou. There's always one thing for every one of us to learn, and that includes me, the storyteller, if that makes sense. The wife said one of his friends owns a petrol station. But guess what? The friend that owns the petrol station is not squandering his petrol station money. I don't know his daily life, but they're spending your own money, your bounce back loan from the UK. It was in Nigeria for up to 5 weeks, according to the wife. He borrowed money because he changed his ticket and then he couldn't change the ticket. He borrowed money from someone here to come back to the UK. Did you hear what I said? He borrowed money. So, of course, when he got back here, I can imagine the wife turned to a 3-headed dragon. It was like World War III in that house, and very rightly so. And let me try to adjust this lens. I think my villagers are trying to put me out of focus. All these handsomeness. If I got to you, daddy. Hold on, man. Yeah, that's better. So as I was saying, the wife said he got back here and then all hell broke loose, major arguments. So the long and short was the woman found out, and then so many stories, came out later, and then they soon realized that he had squandered all of the money. And then he was alluding to the fact that, it was a spiritual attack. It was a spiritual attack, man. 5 weeks. So the wife said, she got the numbers of a couple of her friends. She was very pained, very, very angry. She called a couple of the friends and was shouting at them on the phone as, they are bad friends, they're influenced, and they just put the phone down on her. So her dad then told her that, look, man, you can't blame the friends. your husband is the twat that took £25,000 loan from the UK to the said friends, advertised himself, and they squandered the money. They took money off him, and he actually said eventually he fessed up. He confessed to the wife that one of the four friends, it was four of them that hung out with him. So one of the four friends, he gave that one a 3 million naira loan. Can you imagine? And then he said he was drunk, or the Shayu, when he gave him the money, he wasn't thinking properly. So he's now trying to call the friend to return the 3 million naira. That one is saying, you gave me 3 million as a gift, and the guy has since blocked all of his phone numbers. Oh, Saran, that's gone. Now, let me tell you, that's the story. So the wife now said her home is on fire, the marriage is on fire. Yeah. So because she gave him hell, he's left home. They live in the UK. He moved out temporarily, staying in someone's house. He ran out of the house, of course. He hasn't got a rebuttal. And she's giving him hell. She's angry. And she said in a couple of months, I think very soon, it'll be due to start paying back the £25,000 loan. I don't know. Very soon, it'll be due to start paying back. Now, here's the thing. It doesn't even necessarily have to be the bounce back loan. But of course, for the purposes of this story, it's the bounce back loan. Let's talk about financial discipline. Like I was saying earlier, if you don't have it in you, you just don't have it in you. If you can't discipline yourself, even with 1,000, look, man, check this out. If you're working right now, let's say for argument's sake, you're making £1,500 a month. If you lack accountability when it comes to your £1,500, you can't account for 5 grand. You cannot account for 10 grand. You can't handle yourself. You see, this is the thing, right? I looked at this, and the only thing I can learn from this is a guy who Godson said, thank you for the super chat. The wife should divorce him. Well, that's for her to, decide. It might get to that point. That's one of the reasons why people, and rightly so, people do divorce though. I'm telling you, man, it's ground enough to file for divorce. But in our society, where people always like to bring sentiments and religiosity, I can assure you that there are already people within the families that will be saying things like, oh, let God judge him, just concentrate on your children, but for long. And then for someone like me, that's why I'm being careful. If I say, oh, the woman should divorce him, because that's absolutely heightened recklessness. They would say, oh, Phrankleen, it's easy for you to sit behind your camera and be saying yum, 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 yum. Yeah. £25,000, that type of loan, a smart man, if executed properly. Imagine you had a plan with your wife to set up a poultry back home. If executed properly, that poultry business will grow to become a mega business. And that's how you will enjoy financial freedom, which your 3 children who are here in the UK will benefit from. And what really hurts me, let me unpack this, is sometimes we as adults, when we execute this selfishness, this recklessness, and especially when you've procreated children, you don't stop to think about their future though. You don't think what's going to become of their future, because you know what? Let's say that man, I don't know, I'm talking hypothetically, he suffers a heart attack tomorrow, boom, he drops dead. And he leaves those children with the woman. They are trapped. She might not be able to do it by herself. They are trapped in a never-ending cycle of poverty. I'm telling you, man. And let me be clear. This is the story before me. Okay, this is about a particular man. But I also want to add, these type of financial recklessness is not gender specific. There are some women out there as well that if they should get their claws into £25,000 right now as I'm sat in front of the camera, every boutique, every store in central London, Gucci would know today that they have a brand new African customer. You will lose your mind. Las Vegas will know that somebody just got a £25,000 bounce back loan. It's not gender specific. You lose your doggone mind. There are some women, the next thing you want to do is those Gucci's and Pradas and Armani shoes that you've been dying for. You want to flex, flex on your neighbors, the Joneses next door. You want to go to your church and give them the label designer acrobatics, like I call it. You want to flex, you want everyone to see. That's when you remember that, oh, your car that's got 65,000 miles on it, your Nissan Qashqai, that's still performing well. Oh, and you want to upgrade it, you run to the dealership, you go get on the Benz, go get on the GLS. Now you want a 3.5 engine car where the brake pads alone cost you £600 to upgrade or whatever. You lose your mind. That's what I'm saying. A bad day. Is it a bad day in Kenya? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying, man. The story is crazy. And you know what? Somebody was telling me actually the other day that a lot of people lose their mind with these bounce back loans. And look, man, let me just add this. I'm hoping that for the most part, these type of story does not represent, you know, it's not a fair representation of a lot of people. That most people are smart. I would like to believe. Because if you misinterpret or misconceive how the Western system is designed, then you've played yourself, man. They are coming. They will come after you. They will run you to the ground to take their money. They don't play. A German blew 120k euro from dead parent. He's almost mad now. His friends have disappeared. Of course. Of course. I believe you, bro. Mike Dame. Of course. People do that. 120,000. Some people in their lifetime would never have that type of money in savings. Now, wow, someone blew 25k pounds in 5 weeks, and some people are just looking for $3k for small business. It happens. It happens. When some people go to parties within our community, I'm going to say this. You can call me whatever you want to call me. I've never been a party to such type of behavior. Some people, I've seen people here in the West. They have a basic job, and when they go for parties like our African parties, they can take £300, £400. They would change it to £1 dollar bills, and they will spend. The only winner in that occasion are probably the celebrants, the people that invited you to the party, and the musician who is giving everybody a false sense of themselves by singing to you, turn himself to a giant magnet and siphoning your money in the process. That's the only winner. Because I've never been a lover of that type of behavior. And what pisses me off, you have people in our community say, Franklin, it's our culture. No, it's not. It's a toxic culture. It's not even one to be proud of. Franklin, don't get me started. And I know someone who stole 800,000 from government and tried to flee the country. Irish, good to have you here, man. The guy could have used 25k on down payment and closing cost on a house. He could have done that, but don't forget, he had a plan with his wife to set up a poultry business. If you do it properly, poultry business is amazing. Now, so I want to bring people on. This is an additional segment very quickly. I'm putting the link on. All right. Click on the link. What is the minimum amount? Where is House of Coffee? Click on that link. Click on that link and come and talk to Phrankleen. What's the minimum amount that you would love to take to Africa if you were meant to relocate today? Let's talk about this quickly. A few callers. Click on the link. Come and chat to me. That's the story on that, brother. So I've said to the wife via email, you decide whatever works for you. But I hope somebody learns, man. If you have the opportunity of getting these bounce back loans, make use of it. Use it as a springboard, create multiple streams of income and enjoy your life. Leave assets, not just for you, for your children, man. Right. Click on it. Let's talk, people. I was going to ask this in the last stream, but I couldn't. So if you would move back, we're talking hypothetically now, if you would move back to the motherland, what's the minimum that would be okay for you to pack your bags? All right, let's be honest. And what will you do with that money? Let's go. Click on the link. I'm waiting, people. Let's have a quick chat. 2 to 3 minutes max per person. Let's talk. Please click on the link. Let's talk. You don't have to show your faces. All right. What will be the minimum amount for you? And what will you do with that money in the motherland? I'm not here to talk about this government or that government leader or anything. Forget that. Let's talk about you. Hello.
Hello, you there?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
How are you, man? You good?
Fantastic. Yeah.
All right. So, the question was on how much one needs, Abby?
Yeah, like what's the minimum you would take with you if you were going to leave with the say for the motherland today? What's the minimum that you think would be okay for you to pack your bags and baggages, and what would you do with it to sustain yourself?
To sustain oneself. I can't talk for like couples or like married people, but as a single person,
yeah.
As a single person, let's just say you're in the UK, so 5,000, 10,000 should be all right. Because what's more important is what you're going to. What's more important actually is how are you going to sustain yourself when you're on the ground.
Okay, because so what would you do? What would you do with a 5,000 to 10,000? Yeah, bro.
Okay, so let's round up to 10. With 10, you should be able. And let's just say we're going to Lagos. With 10,000, that's like around 5 million naira right now. Are we? Now, to be honest, with that, I'll probably put about 4 million into investments. Now you have things today like stock markets, you have things like cryptocurrencies, you have things like land, you have things like you mentioned about agriculture. There's industries that one can invest in on the ground. You mix a lot together. Now keep that.
How would you sort your accommodation? Am I guessing that you've already got like an accommodation in place?
Accommodation, like I said, I'm with this for 1 year. So let's just look at 1 year. For the first year, obviously we got NYSC, and you have things like volunteer programs. So I'll just use that first year just to get a feel for things, because you have some people where they make the move and they just can't adapt. It doesn't work out. At least if you've got around like 8,000 invested and you can put your investment out. So if that 1 year doesn't work out, then okay, you can take your money back to the UK and then just know that it wasn't for you. However, let's just say you stay in that 1 year, you do your NYSC, or you can maybe stay with some family for that first year, just to get a feel for things on the ground. Now, whilst you're on the ground, now within that first year, you'll now maybe do your NYSC. You'll probably look at maybe doing some small things on the side to support yourself, so you get a feel for things out on the ground. Now, if things have worked out for you in that 1 year, then you'll be like, okay, let me stay. Maybe I can stay here for a bit longer. I can now maybe look at what my investment portfolio has brought me as a return, and maybe take returns from my investment and now use that to now probably get myself an apartment to rent. Nothing too big, nothing too small, just a simple mini flat, maybe maybe like a mini flat, maybe like a self-contained, something small, just to cover yourself. Now, when you're on the ground, like I said, you'll be doing things on the side. That's what you can be used to support yourself, whilst your investments in things like land or agriculture or art or crypto or stocks or whatever,
Okay.
that's working through
I
the
agree.
background whilst you're doing
Okay.
things on the side for yourself.
All right. Okay. That's fine. I I take your points on board. Thank you, bro. Let me bring on the next person. Now, so let me clarify the point again, okay? What would do for you, maybe as an individual or if you're a couple, okay, what would be the reasonable amount, the bare minimum that you'd say, okay, with this. Now, don't forget, okay, we've got to factor in on 2-3 minutes per person, okay? We want to cut the chase and bang, bang to the point. So what is it that would be okay for you, that would do it for you? And we're not trying to, do me a favor, we're not banging on about the government. They said there is the tomatoes have got eyes, the onions have got legs. We're not banging on about extras on the side. What do you think would work for you at the bare minimum? All right. Okay. And what would you do? Bang, 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 straight to the point, bullet points. How do you intend to sustain yourself on a monthly basis in terms of what kind of plan? All right. So like it's like a quick elevator pitch for 2-3 minutes. All right. Fantastic. House of Coffee, what's up?
Hi, Phrankleen.
What's up, House of Coffee? What's up?
Good. Hi, everyone. So for me, I think I would need from 10,000 grand to 15.
Lole shit.
For this kind of business that I want to do.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. In the sense that I've taken house accommodation from it because I already have accommodation, and also I'll be renting the property for that I want to use for the business from my parents. So even though I'm a child, I do not feel that I'm entitled to get it for free from them. So I would want to pay rent to them, and I'm sure that that will be on a minimal basis. So to get the business kicked off, get some staffs, decorations and things like that, I'm going to need 10 to 15 grand to kick off, and I'm going to do that in less than 6 months and to return back to the UK. So I think 10 to 15 grand is enough, not to go into too much stories. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you,
And I think
House of
it's
Coffee.
for the kind of business that I want to do.
Yeah.
I mean, this is based on the kind of business, and I'm talking about like a minimal restaurant, not a lecky one, not a VI one, not a posh one, a minimal restaurant that anybody can come and eat proper meal and get satisfied.
Got you.
Yes, thank you, Yakoyo. And pay me my money, JJ. That's enough for me.
Thank you, House of
Thank you.
Right. Hello, Akintunde.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm all right, thanks. You?
All right, real quickly. About 4 years ago, I had a family member who just retired from external affairs and what have you, and she was like, she had some money, and she was like, what could she do? So we put heads together, figured out where she could be buying bags of rice. She had about 5 million naira. She was actually able to she had her own house in Ikorodu. So she was able to operate from the house. So she put 3 million into buying bags at wholesale. And I think her first purchase was about 240 bags of rice at wholesale. But she was able to start selling those, making about 2,000, basically undercutting the market, making about 2,000 naira per bag. Selling fast. And within 3-4 months, she had sold out of 240 bags, went out and bought some more bags. And before you know it, this woman, and now she's selling about 500 bags of rice at a time. But you see, the problem is that most people, when they have that 5 million, they will first be looking for what type of a car they should buy instead of what type of business that will be bringing in money. So whether it's 25,000 or 50,000, if you know what you're doing, and just like you said in your last broadcast, and you can keep your head down, you know, I mean, even I myself, you know, I got into a situation a few years ago where I had a terrible injury at work and could not go back to work. And I had
Right.
to tell myself, okay, the amount of money that I have, what am I going to do with it? Do I want to go and buy a $200,000 house? You know, fortunately, because of the different sectors that I've worked in, I know how the banking sector works. I know how to buy real estate from banks. I was able to buy a house that was about 80% off of what market is. You know, I mean, I live in a 4-bedroom house by myself. I don't even go into the other 3 bedrooms. You know, so what do I need to go and put all this money to do something that I know I'm not going back to work. I know my income is limited, and putting my head down. Now I have 4 other houses that are all paid for, but at reasonable prices. I've never understood why I need to show off to anybody. If you have a Lamborghini, I hope you have 5 Lamborghinis next year. But what does you having a Lamborghini or whatever has to do with me? You know, put your head down. Know why you're going to Nigeria for business. You're not there to go and do LIA for the boys. You have a
Yeah.
business plan. Stick to your plan. Even with all your sticking to it, you need all the Ogun and Ifa and Jesus and everybody to still help you. So stick to your plan. It doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. It doesn't matter what your brother is doing, what your sister is doing. Stick to your plan. Get to work.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. So I like what these brothers said. Abiodun Olufemi said, folks are talking of funds enough to set business and return, but are you talking of funds for a permanent return to the motherland? Good point, Mr. Abiodun Olufemi or Jelola. The point is, I'm talking hypothetically. If you were going to relocate, I'm not asking you, oh, minimum fund, just to set something up and then jump back on the plane, go back to New Jersey or come back to the UK. No, we're talking hypothetically. If you were going to relocate, thank you for that, Mr. Abiodun, for highlighting that point. Say you were going to relocate, like the option on the table now is you're going back to Alkebulan. You're going back to the motherland. What part of the motherland? Say you're going back to Nigeria. The reason I'm using Nigeria as an example is because I'm a Nigerian, right? So you're going back to the motherland. You know, one of the things that has been going around a lot that I hear in similar conversation is a group of people don't know what's the right amount. There's always an element of fear, misconception, lots of Chinese whispers that go around. Some people actually want to go back, but they're like, I don't know how much will be all right. But like the brother that spoke earlier just said, you know, if your mindset is, they got to see me this way, I need a 10 million naira car, you know, because of my personality. What personality? If you want, you know, it's got to be a Benz 2018. If all of those things is what you're looking for, then I think you failed. We're talking about serious-minded people that are not trying to keep up with the Joneses or show the billboard of, oh, I'm a returnee from the UK or from the US. You want to go to the motherland, you want to make it work. What's the minimum amount? Reasonable, that would work for you. You can name any figure that you would take in your back pocket, and what would you do in bullet points? That's the point. I hope I'm clear enough. So, Mr. Kazim.
Hello, Frank Cunero.
Hey, brother.
Yeah, very interesting topic we are talking about. For me, I think it's a very wrong approach for any diasporan who wants to relocate to any part of Africa, Nigeria in particular, to pack the kind of money he or she cannot afford to lose and say, I'm going to start a business. Most of the time, you will likely lose the money, even if you're financially disciplined. The approach, the reason is that when you are relocating home, the approach which I've tested which I think works, is that try to do this thing in phases. Try to test the ground over time and see what works, what doesn't work, before you throw money that you cannot afford to lose into that business. For instance, I am in my early 40s.
Right.
I intend to leave my current job maximum at age 50. Normally, retirement age is 62. So I still have very long years to retire, and I have job security where I'm working. So since I already intended leaving my job at age 50, since 5 years ago, I have put my retirement plan in place. What is the approach? Oh, like the last 5 years, I've bought 20 acres of land in my homeland.
Yes, sir.
In that 20 acres of land, close to 25 million naira has gone into it. Now I'm at the phase of now building my integrated farm, which over the next 5 years, I intend spending up to 50 million naira. So with that investment, that investment is going to be in phases as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm 43 now. I have seven years max to leave my current job. Even though I have job security, I don't want to work for anybody beyond 50.
Reasonable, yes.
So with that approach, I have seen what is working currently as we introduce such different products into that integrated farm. By the next 5 to 7 years, when I will be leaving the current job, definitely when I'm going home with what is already established that I know failure is out of it. So I think it's a wrong approach for any diasporan to just pack the money he or she cannot afford to lose and say, I want to invest in Nigeria. Bam. It doesn't work.
But let me stop you right there.
Yes.
I embrace, you see me the way I jumped. I embrace what you've just said, which is fantastic. Yeah. And I know I'm also a believer in there are several ways to skin a cat, right? So the approach, like the way you've laid out the sort of timeline for yourself, it's admirable. In fact, I've never heard anyone on my channel say it that way. You know, like you're saying you want to get out at 50 and you have your plans. It's fantastic. In fact, I believe strongly that based on what you just said now, Mr. Kazim, that if a lot of people have this type of projection and plan towards every phase of our lives, people will do better. Most of us wake up, just barge through each day. Life controls rather than we dictating our plans for life. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, but what I'm saying is also, some people approach it differently. It also depends what type of sector you're going into. So I'll give you an example now. I'll give you an example of a particular person that I know who they have X amount of money, a couple here in the UK, between themselves, husband and wife. And they had a particular business that they had in mind. The second business was actually agriculture, but a particular business and all that, they made the plans and stuff. In fact, they've been working on it 3 years before they got to the point of, moving. When they, before then, they already had like a nice, bungalow and all that. Before, this place you call Shimawa and all that. Before it became really popular with real estate now and stuff, they had already bought into that area. And they quietly built a bungalow. Family didn't even know anything and all that. So it helped their transition. So what I'm trying to say is, if we look on the scale of 1 to 100%, let's use that to represent their savings and all that. They only fleshed out a sizable fraction of that, invested that reasonably, successfully into their business plans. And before they made the final move or say, okay, we're going to jump on the plane on so-and-so date and get out of the West, the business was already doing well. In fact, profit was already coming in and all that. So house was set, and they moved. By the time they moved, they still had a fat money from whatever they worked for in the West, and they had whatever diversified portfolio. So the long and short of what I'm saying is, these people today, they are doing very well. I've also seen also a case of someone that left the West because the person had no papers. I'm sure you can relate to what I'm saying. And
Yes.
but even whilst they live in the shadow of the system, the brother worked tirelessly. He did his best on the ground with 2, 3 odd jobs. You know how it is. He
Yep.
left the shores of, I think it was Spain, with about
Okay.
15,000, roughly 16,000 euros at the time. The only
Okay.
accommodation that he had on ground was his uncle's BQ in the newly built house in Nigeria. The uncle promised him that, hey man, you can keep your head in there and all that. 2-bedroom BQ, stay in there. There is a inverter, blah, 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 blah. You stay in there. So anyway, long and short, he only had roughly 16,000 euros. The person that I'm telling you today is in the eastern part of Nigeria, owns a petrol station. I talked to you in 2021. He left Spain in, if my memory serves me well, I think 2016.
Yeah.
And he's doing very, how he got a petrol station, I don't have a clue. I couldn't tell you as I'm sat here. But I know that the gentleman is doing well for himself. So my point is how you approach it. I like your idea. It's a very nice one. Like, you know, it's like a long-term plan that hits on the age. But
I'm a development banker.
What? Sorry?
Development banker.
Okay. Is that what you do?
Yes. I work for a development bank.
Okay.
All right.
So that's good though. So are you so these plan, if you don't mind me asking, does that revolve around you yourself or you and the family?
Exactly, my family. My financial plan has always been children. It has always been about my children, and that is more reason why this channel, you know, in a way, make a lot of money. But I've always been hindered by family. Coming to know this channel, my life changed totally.
Wow.
It changed totally. It changed totally. So basically, what I'm saying is that on the ratio of when you compare someone who packs money and go to Nigeria and start, and somebody who plans over ahead of time, test the ground, see what works, see what doesn't work. The second option worked better because our country has a lot of business opportunities, but it is a very difficult terrain if you don't test the terrain over time to know what works and what doesn't work.
That's why we talk about planning.
So basically, so in that case, this person we are talking about today is a very different case.
Yes.
He squandered the money. He never invested the money.
Yes.
So that is a very, very different discussion. And I will tell you something. When I bought this land like 25 million 5 years ago, over time I bought it in tranches. Up to 20 acres today. Would you believe that it somewhere in Abeokuta, just 5 minutes drive from the city center? But it was a tip. My friend saw the future. I said, Kazim, let's buy this land. This place is going to develop very soon. Could you believe last year an estate come just next to my land and bought 100 acres?
Wow, that would raise the value of that land a lot.
Do to me, they wanted to buy my land for 150 million. Because apart from them, I was the only single largest owner. So they proposed 150 million naira to me. Imagine I sold for 150 million naira, 25 million minus 150 million. I'm making less than I'm making over 125 million in just 5 years, but I'm not selling. So you can see that. So the bottom line is that financial discipline is very, very important. It's quite important. But going into business goes beyond just having a plan. A plan is very important, it's very crucial, but make sure you test the terrain where you are going to have business and plan over time and see the organic growth over time, you will most likely succeed if your growth is organic than pumping money at once, even when you are financially disciplined.
Yes, I agree.
So that's actually my point. So
Thank you,
thank you
Mr.
so much.
Azul.
Let me give
Thank
another
you.
person a chance to contribute.
Thank you. Thank you. Awesome contribution, Mr. Kazim. Hello.
Yeah, I can.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm all right, thanks.
Yeah, yeah. This is a very nice conversation.
Mr. Chris, maybe you should try reconnecting. I can't hear you properly. Joan?
Hello.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. Yeah, I'm enjoying your program so far. I just
Thank
want
you.
to say something, right? Before you and like I think Kazim has said it all. Before a lot
Yes.
of people go into investing and you finally just uproot yourself to go to Africa, maybe Ghana, Nigeria, or Kenya, anywhere you want to go, you need to understand the terrain very well. More importantly, you need to understand the kind of business you want to do. A lot of people are not cut out to do business. A lot of people are investors. So you need to train yourself to be an investor. For me, I stay in the diaspora, and I mean, right from the time this place, I started investing. I started buying bonds, FGM, federal government bonds, and I'm doing it gradually. I know I'm
Yeah.
retiring, and my retirement plan is age 60. But right from when I hit here, I started, because I don't believe in, carrying lump sum of money. You say you have 100,000, and then all of a sudden you think you're going to turn things around. No, I believe in gradually sending the money in bits and then becoming an investor. Whilst you're becoming an investor, you grow into become a business owner. That's
Yeah.
my philosophy, right? So for me, the amount of money that would allow me to retire would be something that I know I can live on. I would, because of over time I've invested a lot of money. I mean, for me, 100 million would not be too bad. 100 million naira will not be too bad, and that's in equivalency in US dollar would be anywhere between I think uh, roughly about maybe 500,000 US dollar, which is good, right? Because most of the times you get some of these investments, they're paid quarterly. So you can imagine you put your 25 million in FGN savings bond at 10% quarterly. That's enough for you to even buy tickets to seek medical attention in the UK or in the US or even in Canada when you want to go
Yes.
for vacation. That's enough also for you to be able to say, oh,
Bro,
you want to, yeah.
sorry to interrupt you. Can you in few seconds just talk to us about the bonds thing that you've just sort of gone over now? You don't have to spend much time. Just give us a couple
Oh,
of bullet points so that people can learn one or two things about it.
awesome. Okay, so you have DMO bond, DMO website, which is a
Is that
government,
with which country are you buying this at?
Nigeria. I'm talking about
Okay,
Nigeria.
okay,
So you go
go
to
on.
the site each month. The government sources goes they put up the bond auction offer. You don't have to buy 25 million. You can. It's always between 5,000 naira to. You can also buy 5 million, 10 million,
Right,
depending. So you have the rates are always there every week in, week out. The rate for this month should come out maybe tomorrow or perhaps uh maybe Monday next week. It's on the DMO site. I can share the link later. So you just go
right,
there, you download the form, you look for any of these financial institutions. There's
right.
what's it called? A couple of them around. GT has one, GT Bank has one.
Yeah.
Then you go there, you register, you have a shareholder account, you register, and then you just right from your seat, you don't even need to go to Nigeria to buy anything. You
So how
just
much is the interest rate on the bonds?
the Yeah, okay. So the last month's own, or this month's own, which is May, early this year, early this month, was so there's 3 years and there's 2 years. So you get
Yeah.
7 points, I think it was about 7.5% for 2 years, and then the 3 years is 8.5%. So you can just buy like, maybe you just buy 5 million. You buy 5 million for 2 years, and then you get every quarter you get 8%, for on that distance. So if you buy 5 million at 8%, you're probably getting okay, so altogether you're going to get like 200,000 divided by 4, because
Yeah,
you're
and I'm
going to
giving
pay
you
3
that
times. So
money
that's
in
50K. You understand? That's
yeah,
50,000. That's 50,000 naira that you didn't work for, you didn't sweat. Government just pays you. You understand? So it's a lot of people don't know this. So you start from investing in, and then there's still bills again, which government sell again. The rates might not be good, but I mean 5% is still better. And then when you get the dividend, you can decide to buy in bits. It's like you're giving birth to your children, and you are regrowing the money to beat inflation, and to also to beat depreciation. You understand, of the naira, of your currency, of your, whether
yeah,
it's naira or CD or whatever. You understand? Even in Ghana,
yeah,
I think it's the rate was very, very high. So these are things that people can look at. You don't need to fly to Nigeria to do it. You can just sit down from bedroom. Oh, okay. Look at shares. Look at not shares. Look at these bonds, and even the sukuk also. Is something that government is also considering, and it's sukuk bond, because it's a special kind of bond. They also
yeah,
give good rates. I think 2 years ago, or was it last year, it was at 11%. It comes out once in a year, which is not bad. You're not doing anything, and you're getting 11%, 10%, even 8%, 7.5% is not bad. You understand? But people should. So I urge people to gradually learn and have information as to what you want to do. Whatever you want to do, you want to do poetry, make sure you've gone to the school of poetry. You've learned everything. They could wake you up in the morning, you know it inside out. Not just wake up in the morning and say, boom, you're going to Nigeria. You have $50,000 or 50,000 pounds. Man, you will bite your finger. And even though you want to do that, you know that, okay, that 50,000 pounds or $1,000 you have, you can say, okay, from this 50,000, you want to invest $15,000 in savings bond, in bonds. You know that, okay, you're getting your money every quarter, right? And then you can say the remaining 35% you want to use it for poultry. So either way, you're both an investor and a businessman. So you can always pull out shocks from any of these investments and say, okay, this business is not doing very well. Let me try
yeah,
to grow it. Or you can say that, okay, you are growing your business and you are receiving profits, and then you want to plunge, or you want to take out 25% of your profit into savings bond, to invest in bond, to grow the business, or to beat inflation. If
yeah.
at all you want to beat inflation, or perhaps you look at it maybe in the future and say, oh, I don't want to actually be staying in Nigeria consistently. I probably want to do 6 months in the UK, 6 months in Nigeria, or you want to do 6 months in US and you want to do 6 months in Nigeria. Either way. So that's my contribution to this.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you, man. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Great stuff. Great stuff. Let me just say, like what the brother has said, and same as Mr. Kazim and all that, whatever investment, like he talked about the FGN bonds and stuff, make sure you put an effort into researching, educate yourself, get informed, sit down, read, understand where your money is going into. It's that easy. You see, now there's also another one. I might even do another video about this in the course of this week. There's agro partnerships, right? I've done a video about it before, and a lot of people jumped on it in the past. Then I've got a referral link for it, whereby you can also put your money into agricultural investments. If you don't physically own a farm, there's all of that too. You don't physically own a farm, like you have to be on the ground to run a farm day to day and stuff. You can put, money into a cowpea farm, a sweet potato farm, a poultry farm, whereby you get 35%, 32% on your investment, 28%, 16%, depending on what they're offering. And you know exactly when your investment matures. There's actually a woman that watches my channel, one of you subscribers, who, when I talked about Adron homes, buying lands and all that, she told me in my email recently that one of our agricultural investments, the agro partnerships that I talked about, that she put money into, that she clawed back more than 500,000 naira in profit. Another gentleman told me like a week ago that Phrankleen, I made over 1.9 million on my investment. People are doing this. Some people recycle their money and you carry on. You can't just sit down and fold your arms and not have these plans. And like we're saying, do your homework, man. Do your homework. But I love this. Ake.
Phrankleen, good
What's going
afternoon,
on, brother?
or good evening. I'm doing very well. It's good to be here. Just my 2 cents. I think like an important thing when we plan on relocating or even investing back home is definitely for us to use our savings instead of loans. Like there is definitely something there about using money that you've worked for, because this is something that you're committed to, and it will actually motivate you to optimize your funds as much as possible. And like when you're coming back home, as you've mentioned in a previous live stream, it's definitely important for only those who can help you, that you should let know that you're coming back home. Because yeah, as you said, I've even experienced it. When you are coming back home, people are only there for what they can gain from you. Like, what did you bring for me? I've heard I've heard that hundreds of times. Like a lot of people, when we come back home, I'm a huge advocate of people investing back home. And a lot of things that I hear is the lack of infrastructure. And like, so what? Like, you need electricity, get a freaking generator. That's just the cost of doing business. Anywhere you are, there's always a cost of doing business. And the difference is that there's a bigger market for whatever you're doing on the continent. There's bigger opportunities on the continent.
Yeah.
Even far more than the West itself. Anything on the continent can make you profit. Yeah, there are a lot of problems. There's a lot of issues, but that's exactly what money is. You being a solution to that problem, viewing our problems as money, literally, being a solution to them. One of the things that I'm speaking to my parents about is an experience that I had in Nigeria where, like a lot of children will like to play the latest games, PlayStation and stuff like that. And I remember there was this shop that just had children lined up, a really long line. They're sweating in the sun, and they had 3 televisions and 3 PlayStations, and that place is always packed. That is
Yeah.
such a huge, business opportunity right there. You let the children play for 10 minutes and recycle, and it just keeps on going on. I'm sending a few PlayStations to my parents back home in Nigeria, and that's also one of the important things too to consider, to use whatever unfair advantage that you may have. Some people, you don't have to rent a place. You might already have a place to stay whenever you're going back home. That is a way to cut on cost in whatever it is that you're doing. And just even anything really can make you profit. I remember one of Wodemaya's video about a minimalist house for $20,000. That is a definitely good business opportunity right there.
Yeah.
If you can build that and rent it out to college students. It's that's just my 2 cents. It's a lot of business opportunities out there. I just realized my camera was not turned on. Let me turn it on. Sorry about that.
I see you now, man. Thank you, Akeem, man. Nice to see you, bro.
Yeah, of course, Phrankleen. I enjoyed the show. Thanks for having me.
All right, man. Peace. Let me see. Mbali.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm good. You?
Yes, I'm good, thanks. Enjoyed the bank holiday.
Yeah, awesome. Lovely weather
Yeah.
too.
Yes, finally, summer's here.
So what do you think?
Yeah. So my motherland is South Africa. So
Great.
so for me personally, I'd say £250,000. Now that's because I want to I want to invest in property.
Okay.
Yes, I would want to invest in property. So of course, going back there, £250,000. The first year, I probably would live with family, and I wouldn't say a word to anybody what I'm doing. It will just be, oh, I just want to see how it is. I would do my research for 2 years because I haven't lived in the country for more than half my life now, so I don't know how things work. So yes, I would do my research, keep my head down whilst doing my research, see where the problems are, see where the opportunities are, and then yes, eventually invest in enough land and invest in land, and then hopefully also be able to build a business around that. But that's what I would do because £250,000 equates to say about 5.5 million rand, and land back home can be expensive. So that's for me. 'Cause that's what I would
So,
invest in.
so if you don't mind me asking, are
Yes.
you looking to take this money on a solo 250K? You want to raise that from the UK, or you are looking to take some money and then maybe get some loans from banks, or what are you planning to do to raise 250 racks?
Again, I would do my research because obviously for some people think buying a house in cash is cheaper than getting a mortgage, but then it could be if you have a mortgage, or back home they call it bond, it could actually work out cheaper. So again, it's knowing the interest rates, it's knowing, okay, will I get a better deal if I pay in cash, or will I get a better deal if I pay down a deposit and put down and get a loan.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I would do. I would, say £250,000 because I want to invest in land, see where the opportunities are.
So that would
So for
make
yes,
you get out of the West and kiss it goodbye.
yes, yes. Definitely, yes. And again, keep my head down, not tell anybody what I'm doing. It's just people ask me, oh, I'm just trying it because again, people in South Africa are like people in Nigeria. Once they see you coming, they think, what does she have for me? What does she have for me?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
no, yeah, but no, it doesn't work like that. But yes, but
Thank
the main
you.
thing is to, yeah, invest and yeah, create that legacy for my child.
All right. Thank you,
Yeah,
Mbali. Appreciate you.
thanks. Bye.
So, very good points. I think in terms of, thank you, Mbali. In terms of what people would want to take home and stuff like that, it's subjective. It's up to, you, what works for you. But I love one of my favorite, people have given fantastic contributions, but my favorite contribution for me personally was Mr. Kazim. Mr. Kazim killed it. I just love his long-term goal and the projection, the age 50, get out, the acquisition of land that they already want to pay 150 million for and stuff like that. But I was actually, the whole conversation at that point took a slightly different turn, which gave us a fresh perspective on things, which I love. But I was trying to address those people that really, because you know what's funny, man? Different lives, different backgrounds, different challenges. Some people have the liberty of saying, oh, I'm going to be in the West, I'm going to lean back till I'm 50 and 40. Some people want to get out. Different experiences, different reasons, different backgrounds. Some people have teenage children who have grown, they know their left and right, and they can look after themselves, and enables you to jump. Some people have younger children. Some people really don't want that Western toxicity in their young children. They want to bail out. There is the essence of being in the motherland. Now, when people talk about the issues back home, I keep saying it. Nobody's holding you by the jugular and say you must mandatorily go. And I prefer people to come. You're free to come on my platform. Bring, like all the brothers, Mr. Kazim and the other brothers. I'm still going to watch this as a playback. And all the brothers and all the people, the ladies, that gave fantastic contributions. It tells you that, people's minds are like that. So I might be looking at it this way, and you realize that there's another way to look at things and stuff. But for those that really want to go, I'm trying to address the misconception. I still stand on the point. People that say £50,000 is not enough. It's one thing to have a long-term goal like Mr. Kazim and stuff. Hypothetically speaking, let's say we wake up tomorrow and Britain says, "Hear ye, hear ye. Here is the news from the Queen Elizabeth of England. Bum, ba-da-dum, bum, 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 ba-da-dum, bum, bum. Hear ye, hear ye. All ye foreigners, drop your passports, drop your statuses, take your money, take your children, your belongings, make your way to the airport and get out of England." Of course, that's a bit extreme. Let's say that was the case. And all you could shake up was £20,000. That's all you've got. All you could shake up was £30,000. All you could shake up and quickly pull out was £40,000, £15,000, 17, 22, whatever. What can you do with it? What will you do? Because you see, sometimes the whole idea of, nothing's going to work. The reason why I believe a lot of people fail in the motherland is like this. Even when they carry their bags from the West and say, I want to go to Nigeria to go and set up XYZ. I'm going to go to Ghana to go and do blah, blah, blah. You see, half of their brain, 60% of their brain or 70 is still in the West. So they're going half-baked to Africa. They're not going with the rock-solid mind. This is what I've got. This is what I have to make this work. What if you don't have the advantage of coming back to the West? What if? That's where I'm trying to take the state of mind to. What if? Phrankleen, it's not far-fetched. Look at what's happened to Windrush people. They were British on paper. Thank you, Nilo. I know where I'm going with this conversation, and I like the fact that people that are smart, this whole idea of seeing the West as a cushion is deadly for Black people. You see, that's where I'm going with the whole of this. You can discard my views. You are within your right. But this whole idea of seeing the West as a getaway clause, getaway environment, getaway ticket, I suspect in the not so distant future, there will be a shift in paradigm. And do you know what my concern is? For us Black folks, Africans, we have the benefit of dual nationality. We don't appreciate it now because I believe that there's an agenda to turn Africans into visitors, into tenants in their own fatherland. I'm telling you, man, I see the bigger picture. It's not going to happen in 2021. So you can rest easy. But let's zoom out. There's an agenda. You might have been dead and gone. What about your children? What about their future? So, there is this thing it's the colonial calibration. I call it the colonial calibration that's affected our minds, even some of the best minds, educated black folks, right? That it doesn't matter how far we go in ranks, we have that about our motherland. There's a blind panic. And before you say, because some of you, your rebuttal will be like, oh, Phrankleen, yeah, but look at the insecurity. Look at this. Of course, it's a Western agenda to keep Africa on its knees. At the bottom of everything, the racial paradigm, black people is there. That's why I made a video some days ago. You think I'm just making them just to get clicks, just so I can get paid? We really can't talk on YouTube the way we want to talk about it. It's only for those smart ones that can read between the lines. I can make jokes when the time for jokes come. It's not going to be like that forever. The idea of, no, we don't want to go home. Your name is Ogunshakin. My name is Awodia. My bloodline doesn't exist in the UK. Doesn't matter, my children were born here. Blah, 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 blah. We can't lay claim to England. It's facts. We can be in denial all we want. It's intentional that Africa is on its knees, that Africa is in disarray, because it's a normal human behavioral pattern that you will emigrate, you will migrate somewhere to go look for a better environment. It's intentional. It is intentional. There is an agenda. You can call me conspiracy theorist, but it's for the clever-minded. The agenda goes beyond 2021 to turn black people to tenants in Al-Kabulan if you're not careful. So the world might get to a point where in our motherland, you see those places that you're afraid of. Go and ask, did you hear what that brother said, where he owns a 25 acre land and all that? The Chinese and all these people, yeah? All of these people and Arabs, the Pakistanis, the Lebanese, they are buying our lands in droves. It will shock you to the core of your being. Sometimes when we're having this conversation, you might be limited because you're just listening to me on YouTube. Some of you are absolutely oblivious of what's going on back home. There is a reason. The man that owns the land has more power than you. You can work for IBM all your life. You can have all the degrees in the universe. You can speak all the grammar. Can you lay a claim to IBM? Can your bloodline lay a claim to Goldman Sachs? Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking you, my brothers and sisters. Get your money, get your bread. But can you lay a claim? Look at Zambia. Look at all of those places. If your eyes no they're wide open, you can switch off my YouTube channel. You can unsubscribe. You can go lay your head, go eat your grilled chicken. Like, oh, you know what, this guy, I don't want to listen to it. That's temporary behavior. What's coming in the future, you can't switch it. I'm telling you, man. One of the reasons why I am behind the drive, go and own lands. We need to own lands. Don't sell it. Own lands. Build assets. Own lands. Go to the outskirts of our cities or towns, man. Farm. You'll be shocked. The Chinese and all these people, they buy lands. They're buying lands in shocking quantities. You think they're just buying it because they just want to buy it? No. There is a projection. You see how Mr. Kazim, I draw from that. Something hit me when that brother was talking. You see how Mr. Kazim has a plan for when he turns 50. That's how the enemies are planning. Even bigger plans that exceed Mr. Kazim and any other version of Mr. Kazim on this lifeline. Plans that exceed our lifetimes, that it will pass on to the next generation. They are buying our lands aggressively. And you don't want to own a stake You don't want to. You want to die on the grounds of the West. You want to keep on defending the West on the grounds of the West, a system that's clearly, evidently designed to tolerate us. I don't care what your bank balance is saying. It's none of my business. If you have multiple properties rented out in the UK, you're planning for retirement, you got things you're going to pass on to your children, it's great. It's fascinating. That's fine. You've not done anything bad. But look at the bigger picture, though. I suspect there will be a time where, in the not so distant future, here in the UK, here in the West, there will be some dodgy regulations around owning properties and the amount of properties you can own. It is the West. There will come a time you will see. And there's a way to do it. They will tell you all their proposals and all that. It's already been agreed like 5 years, 10 years ago, 20 or more. They just show you, ta-da, we're coming, they just roll it out. Boom. There will come a time. I'm telling you, man. Oh, ye black man, oh, ye black woman, wake up. The bulk of the governmental failings and the issues that we're claiming that's happening, you think I don't know? That's why you notice. Look, man, there are some brothers that I watch their channel. They're on YouTube, right? They talk about Buhari's government. I know what Showore is up against. All the puppets, they're controlled. Britain. Okay, let me simplify for you, man, without even talking about a Nigerian senator and all of those daily stuff that you expect me to talk about. No. Britain. I live in Britain. Look at me. I'm a Nigerian by roots. Britain runs Nigeria. You don't know. Nigeria is an extension of Britain. But preferably for them, intentionally done, keep it the way it is with the governmental challenges so that its citizens can keep on coming to the West to keep the Western GDP going and the Western system going. You don't understand. You think it's normal that a president, a sitting president of Nigeria, would become ill, and the next thing he does is jumps on the plane and he runs to the UK for medical treatment and relaxation. No, he has come to see his handlers. It's the order of things. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? I know, and I thoroughly being the objective word, I understand the bigger picture of things. So I laugh at some people. Look at what Buhari, look at the ministry, the minister of, look at the head of military, look at what the governor of Sokoto, you're wasting your time, man. So in case there's somebody watching this and think, oh, is this guy, this Phrankleen guy, he just sat there, he's just blowing grammar, he's talking about people, go, fam, I'm a warrior at heart. When I say go and own a piece of the motherland, mark my words, I hope we all live long enough. In the not so distant future, you will see how they change the regulations we cannot lay a claim to the West. This is not our motherland. I don't care if you work for the Ministry of Justice, you work as an IT consultant for the Ministry of Defense. I am not castigating you, my brother or my sister. Make your bread. You've worked hard enough to acquire those qualifications and experience. But there is more to the black race than that. It's their system. It's designed to tolerate you. The only time a black man can flex their muscles, if the only time the black man can flex, if you see a black man or woman flexing their muscles in the West and they are at the top, it means they have fraternized. And once you've fraternized, there is one agenda only. You are there. You are stripped of your integrity. You are there to uphold white supremacy for the rest of your days. Yes, you will be rewarded. The unsuspecting members of the public will see you in the front end as you have a $900 million net worth. That money doesn't belong to you. It doesn't belong to you. Such and such is worth 780 million. Such and such is worth 1.2 billion. Such and such is selling so and so headphones. He's a billionaire. That guy has a net worth of 980 billion, and they dare not talk about the black struggle. Do you think it's normal? And here you are on the ground level because you live in Kent, figure of speech, because you managed to buy a couple of properties. You think you've arrived. You think now you have the job of a gatekeeper to defend the United Kingdom. You don't have an idea. In the grand scheme of things, black people are totally irrelevant. Black lives don't means nothing. Facts. You think you've arrived. This is why I keep talking about. Of course, this is why I keep putting a disclaimer. Nobody's saying you have to mandatorily relocate and all that. But the motherland, man. The last time I went home, I remember on the expressway, I was in the car, a driver was moving me from A to B. I cannot count the number of times that I saw black men, my brothers, on the ground, driving around Chinese men from A to B in their 4x4s. You go into the banking hall. Now, I got nothing against the Chinese folks. Let me be clear. I've got absolutely nothing against them. What I'm saying is they are moving like warlords. In my motherland, in Nigeria, the Chinese man lives like a god. You don't understand. The black man and woman is busy defending the gate and entrance of the UK. You are here blowing ground. You can't lay a claim to these places, man. You think you've arrived because you can afford to pay for your BMW. Your children are the only black kids in the private school that you pay for because you're an IT consultant. On Wednesday, you shirt alone, you're unable to button your shirt. Your neck size of 17 or 18. You've arrived. You can afford Balmain. You're playing an 18-hole golf course. You know what I'm saying? You've got a couple of Hackets in your wardrobe now. You can jet over to Dubai. You think you've arrived. You're absolutely bonkers. That's all I'm saying. Some people think, oh, Phrankleen, you're a bit harsh. No. There will come a time in the near future where in the motherland, in Al-Kabulan, black folks will turn to visitors in your own motherland. That's where this is going. There are lots of foreigners in the village of Nigeria planting and harvesting. They have a restaurant in Lagos, it's Chinese, and Nigerians can't go in Lagos. You hear that? There are even places in Nigeria where Nigerians are restricted in their own motherland from going in. We are busy in the West. I will hear some black folks. In my 22 years of working for the NHS, I have never seen any level of keep talking. Because what? You have a British passport. Let me understand this. You have a 60K a year job. Because you have moved up in a couple of ranks, you think you've arrived. Oh, you Negro. You think you've arrived. It's a make-believe. Like I said, if you fraternize and they move you up the social climb, they move you up in ranks. You want to get up somewhere on the career ladder, they move you up in ranks. You've already stripped. You cannot defend your people's plight no more. You dare not talk about racism or discrimination. You're gone. You're lost now. You're a lost cause. For the rest of your days, you would defend white supremacy. And then what? You don't understand, man. That's all I'm saying. Thank you, Mr. Kazim. Whilst I love Mr. Kazim's point, it triggered something in my thought process whilst I was listening to him, man. Don't get it twisted, man. Don't get it. We can make wait. It's like it's the same way you can't go to China. There are Nigerians in China. I don't care how many years you think you spend in China. Ask Wadi Maya. Wadi Maya is a great YouTuber, is a brother doing very well, showing Africa positively and all that. Ask Wadi Maya. Ask people that live in China. You can't live in China and say you want to buy land and spread your wings. Are you normal? Who are you? Molotimbo. You can't lay a claim. You're not Chinese. They will let you know from the jump. I don't care how much money you think you have. Go to Dubai, go to the UAE, Qatar. You can't flex your muscles, particularly if your behind is black. There's a message in there. Even the Chinese, they're living like gods. The way they cannot live in China, they're living like that in Africa. You hear like a group of Chinese people, 200 acres of land, 150 hectares of land. And I'm like, here you are. You're trapped in the West. You're telling me stuff about, oh, I'm gonna show you better, man. That place, man. I don't really want that place. You may be good for now, for the number of years that you have left on earth. Think about your children that you're going to leave. Think about the generations to come. Thank you. Somebody said this is the policy Ghana has implemented now. Foreigners cannot own the land. I'm telling you, man, all these lands, it will come to a time whereby it will become absolutely impossible to even be able to own lands. Because when you have your lands, when you have your papers, when you have your documents, look at that brother, 25 acres of land. I love the fact that he said, I'm not selling. If anything happens, he can pass it on to his children. It's a lot. It's power. Don't be blinded, man. I'm not, again, I repeat for the final time. Nobody's saying I don't have the powers. And I'm not trying to say, oh, everyone has to jump on the plane. But fam, think properly. Whilst you might be able to afford to eat steak at the top of the Shard in London every week because you're making good money, good for you. Live a good life. If you can put a jacuzzi bang in the middle of your living room in your house, good for you. If you can send 2, 3 of your children to private school in the heart of London, that's marvelous. Do it. But there is more to life. There is more to the black race. There is more to the black struggle. That's me done, man. Thank you for listening to me. It's not personal attacks on anyone. I love everybody equally and I respect you. If I sounded a bit harsh, you should know where I'm coming from. Thank you to everyone that's contributed. It's your boy Phrankleen. Don't forget to smash the like button. Don't forget to share my videos. And if you're interested in buying the lands, like I said to you, with Adron Homes, just send me an email to foodchannel1960 and say, Phrankleen, I'm interested in owning a parcel of land in Nigeria, and I'll send you the application pack. All right. Thank you once again. And I will most definitely catch you in the very next one, man. Peace and love, man. Bye-bye. You do.